Welcome to another episode of the Alamo City Sportscast with Mike Jimenez and Joe Garcia. Make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. Join the discussion as we broadcast live from beautiful West San Antonio. And remember to tip your hosts as it helps the show grow.
Good morning, everybody. We're coming to you live from beautiful West San Antonio. I'm going to be joined here by a good friend, the one and only, the infamous Spurnandez is joining us today, man. What's up?
You know what it is, brother. It's Friday, baby. It's Friday. Like Mark Cavasso says, we don't give a damn.
It's Friday and we don't give a damn. You know what? It's Friday and guess who's late again for work?
Híjole, man. Se cabrón.
Dollar. Every time he comes in late, I'm going to tell him.
Yeah. There's an empty seat right there, bro.
Yeah.
Bro, it's 8:20 in San Diego, bro. You know what I'm saying? And you know.
Hey, you know what? I think I'm gonna wind up buying a blow-up doll like they do on the Mike Taylor show. And every time Mike gets late, I'm just gonna put the blow-up doll there with his face on it. So we can start the show. Hey, but we're gonna get into a lot of things today, man. We're gonna talk about a little bit of the NBA playoffs, and things got interesting there. They got very interesting because there was an incident, man, where one of the news reporters, they learned that when you disconnect your Bluetooth, the audio keeps going. That audio keeps going, man. So there was an incident there with Luka Doncic at the press conference. That was funny. We're talking about that. And we're also going to talk about something we didn't get to talk about yesterday. So we're going to get into that right now. We're going to talk about the restaurant it's not even a restaurant. It's kind of like a food park, I guess you could say. And it's called El Camino. Right, so everybody loves him some El Camino, dude. I know I do.
That place is awesome, man. They got some good drinks. You know what I'm saying? They got a couple of the food trucks there. Steph and I love that place.
Yeah, dude, I like it too, man. It's a San Antonio staple out there by Southtown. So the owner, he's raising some eyebrows because he wants to start a no Edgar policy. But is he wrong for this, dude? I mean, you know that you get the Edgars, you start getting a certain group of people around, Puro Exit 7.
Hey,
you
gotta cue the music, dog. You gotta cue the theme song. You know what I'm saying?
And they do have their own. They do have their own theme music now.
It's funny, right? Obviously, like I mean, there's no.
What was the theme song? Edgar, Edgar, Edgar. So I thought that was comical, but the owner, is he wrong for this, man? Is he wrong for saying he has a no Edgar policy in effect? I don't know, dude. What do you think, Mike? The El Camino restaurant, staple down in Southtown. The owner came out and made some waves the other day. This is an excerpt from the San Antonio Express News. You can go check the full article out there. But he was saying, the owner was basically saying after the fatal Fiesta shooting.
Right.
He has a no Edgar policy.
It's a hell of a lawsuit waiting, man. If you could turn on the chat for me, please.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I don't know how this holds up in court, man. I mean, I think Edgar's going to unite like a union and go out there and picket outside of this bar and say, what do you mean you can't let us in? Now, I understand the reason because, if you have an Edgar cut, you're probably up to no good. Just call it what it is, man. You get that cut for a reason, right? It's no different than having a red bandana outside your back pocket or a blue one back in the day. Basically, it just shows that you are up to no good. How many Edgars do you know are doing community service, man? How many Edgar cut guys do you know are valedictorians? Okay, it is a telltale sign that you're up to no good. So I understand what he's doing there, but it's so funny. Like, imagine going in there. Isn't that some sort of discrimination of some point, of some sort? I get it. You have the right
it has to be. It has to be. It's Edgar discrimination, man.
Are there whites with Edgars? Are there blacks with Edgars? Are there Asian with Edgars?
Hey, but here's the thing, and they came back out and said, we allow Edgars as long as they behave themselves. I don't know how hard of a stand that was. I think it was I think it was more of a kind of just fun and poking
publicity
jokes, or I don't know. I agree with you. Like, at the end of the day, we could joke around about this, but if we talk about like legalities of things, like, obviously, I don't think you could just tell somebody, "Hey, due to your haircut, you can't come in here." Like, let's be real, right? Like,
could you say no afros or no?
No braids, or
no mullets.
Yeah,
no mullets.
You're right. Well, and I guess at the end of the day, at the end of the day, it's just like anything else, any other issue. Where is it gonna stop, right? Like it's all fun and games until it's, hey, no haircuts like mine.
We had a little off comment joke, before you came in. I said, Mike's late again, so every time he's late, $1. And then look at somebody else put Midtown, Texas.
Yeah, my Buy Michael Watch Fund, $1.99 super chat. Tim Gonzalez reaching out saying every time Mike comes in late, he needs to do push-ups. Man, you guys are brutal, dude. The traffic on Petrenko on the way over here today was awful.
Hey,
it was bumper to bumper the entire time over here.
How many push-ups you think you can do?
I did some the other day. Like real man. I don't get up very high, man. I think I got like 13.
Yeah, we don't got pleasure or hip as guns, dude.
I got to like 13, and I started. My arms were like a baby deer, man. Because there's a challenge right now on social media saying if you can go 15 days without bread, potatoes, or rice, and go 15 days with like 50 ounces of water and 8 hours of sleep. And there was another one, 15,000 steps. If you can do that, then you'd be a changed man in 15 days. Like you can lose 5-6 pounds right away and try to keep it up. Right. So I've been doing okay, dude. I'm slimming down a little bit. I'm back down to that 15-pound loss marker from a year ago.
Hot girl summer.
It's a yo-yo. Dude, I haven't even hit the pool yet. When I hit the pool, dude, that's my lifting of weights, dude. I love to swim a mile, half a mile, 3/4 of a mile.
Hey, Rick is a Marine, man. In boot camp, how many push-ups do they have you all doing, dude?
Bro, push-ups, pull-ups, bro. You know what I'm saying? All that stuff, right? We crunches, right? Yeah, man. It's we have a graduation going on outside, right? And I hear that. So, yeah, man. It's I would love to get Mike out here on the some of these obstacle courses.
Marine boot camp.
Run them through.
I did a mud run one time. My fat ass doing a mud run.
Oh,
they had the monkey bars, right? Where you kind of come across, right? And I'm filthy, all full of mud. Everyone's trying to do this. There's like a big old, 1.5-2 foot deep mud pit underneath it, right? That's all sloshy and stuff. And people were going 1, 2, then falling, 1, 2, and then falling. Dude, I made it almost all the way across, dude. My fat ass was just swinging. I think I'm part Donkey Kong, dude. I'm part DK. But we're joined by Ric Fernandez, 1234 United States Marine Corps out there in San Diego, California. He's also from Exit 7 Marbach Road. My name is Mike Jimenez. That's Joe Garcia. Apologies for being late. Hey, before we get things going, man, shout out to Garrett out in the Netherlands, man, because he's going through some medical issues again. If you're into prayer, if you're into well wishes, if you're into sending nice notes, Garrett, we're thinking about you, my man. Thank you for being a big follower of the show. Super chat from Mario Cavasso saying $5, to help Mike's stress and anxiety and get some medical marijuana. dude,
medicinal purposes. That stuff is legal here in San Diego, man. It's wild how you can literally here in San Diego, walk into a dispensary and buy joints. Like it's like, hey, I'll take a couple of the rolled ones. I'll take that one. You can just do it. When
was the last time you think I smoked pot?
Have you smoked pot ever?
College.
What do you think?
Yeah. Oh no, it had to have been this year.
Oh yeah,
it was in New Orleans 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I was at a concert. Someone was like, "Hey, you want a joint?" I was like, "Okay, well, it's freaky."
Look at
I'll take it. I've gone to dispensaries before in Phoenix, LA, and Las Vegas. It's interesting. It's like going to Best Buy. It's
that's what I'm saying. It's very interesting coming from a state that is not legal, right? Like you literally could just walk in there, like any store, and be like, yeah, I'll take a couple of those pre-rolled ones, I'll take that, and it's just interesting.
I like the comment here by Tex-Mex Frank. Super chat by Tex-Mex Frank. Thank you, by the way. $4.99 from Tex-Mex Frank. He goes, Buenos dias, mi raza. Everyone, Mike is late. You should greet him with the Tejano Jam or grito. But you know what? You should do the grito. I shouldn't have to play it.
I'll go along with it.
Late.
I'll go along with it.
Every time you're late, you have to do a grito.
Hi, come on.
Raulito. He's got the Raulito.
Fuck Raulito, dude.
Oh man, yeah, that turn.
I'm 300 pounds from that dude. Okay?
Dale vuelta.
300 pounds from that dude, man. I hate that guy. That guy just looks like he's. Oh my god! I'm not gonna say it.
Hey, you know what? Raulito works out because you know why? The jefe, he's worked out on the south side.
Yeah.
He's seen Raulito there.
Really?
Yeah.
What's he cleaning the place?
No, he's on the treadmill, bro. Raulito's trying to slim down.
Hey man, you know what? I shouldn't be upset about someone trying to slim down. Like I said, I just want to lose 10 to 15 more pounds. 15 more pounds, and I'd be happy. But man, I mean, I was at my highest point about 16 months ago, December of 2022. I was at my highest point, which was sad because I was at one of my lowest points just a year and a half before that. I gained 30 some odd pounds, and now I've lost half of what I gained, and I'm going back to my original style, baby.
Look at Tex-Mex Frank. Save that Mike Grito. That was the weakest Grito in the world,
it's
bro.
because I have no Dos Equis, no Tecate in me, no Corona.
Open the refrigerator, bro.
That's a diet Coke.
Open the refrigerator. There's plenty of stuff to drink there.
It's kind of like karaoke and sober. You can't do it. You need to be in a zone, right?
Yeah. Well, we didn't get to talk about this yesterday, and that's why we're talking about it now. The no Edgar policy.
Dude, I it's a great story, man. It's a great story because I get it. I understand why they want it's great publicity, by the way. As Rick mentioned, it is great.
El Camino's a great place, dude. If you've never been, it's a good place to hang out.
It is. It's funny, but it's discriminatory. But then again, you always have those signs up there that say that you have the right to refuse service, so it kind of stretches that rule. And
we should go. Hey, we should go undercover, right? With Edgar Wiggs, you know, or something, and go in there and see. We could do like exclusive undercover, you know.
What's the oldest you can have an Edgar? I need Edgar 7 answers. Like, can you be 30 with an Edgar?
No.
Can you be 35 with an Edgar?
So we need the Edgarology, right? We need the education on Edgars, right? And like you said, what's the age limit? What's the cutoff? When can you start an Edgar? You got like a 2-year-old Edgar baby, you know, or what? Like silver teeth and all? I don't know, right? That's a good question.
So I'm reading an article right now by the Dallas Morning News, and it was from last year. And it says that the Edgar cut is inspired by hairstyles worn by Native Americans.
It is.
In Central Texas between the years 1500 and 1700. And I'm calling bull crap.
No, it is. I'm just saying.
No, maybe it
really is.
Maybe the first person who had it, right? But I'm saying, like, now, no.
The evolution of the Edgar.
The history of the Edgars. This is like, we need a museum for Edgars.
Yeah, no, but it started first. You remember this, Rick. It started with that one kid from John Jay. Remember when he came out on national media everywhere because he had pushed the ref and all that during the game? That dude had the Edgar mullet. And then from there, it just kind of like evolved.
Yeah. Well, and that's what
Oh, we lost you, Rick.
We lost Rick there for a second.
We lost your audio. Oh, there you're back. You're back.
Can you hear me? I was just saying that it's called a Marbach mop sometimes. You know what I mean? It's an Edgar. There's a couple of names to it, and there's an evolution to it. So I'm sure there's a history behind it. I would love for like a Edgar history buff to kind of give us some knowledge.
Look at Steph. She says, yes, there are 2-year-old Edgars already getting it, man.
You know, the Institute of Texan Cultures would have stayed around. They had an exhibit on the history of the Edgars. Dude, the history of mullets.
That's what I'm saying.
I like this one. Jesse A. Edgar Prime. Oh, look, there's Gert. What's up, Gert? I'm glad you could join us, man.
Dude, Cro-Magnon Edgar.
The mullet, though. I mean, a fine mullet. There are contests right now. Who can have the best mullet for like adult levels, teen levels, children, and stuff like that? But you go back in the day to Billy Ray Cyrus, dude, Richard Marx back in the day.
Oh, F that dude, man.
Dude, I was looking at Richard Marx tickets the other day.
Nah, bro. F that dude. That dude's the biggest dick ever, man.
Why? Because he doesn't like Mexican food?
Man. He just F that dude, man.
Oh, dude, you're Team Mike Taylor when it comes to that.
Yeah, that guy could kiss my ass.
Dude, I am a Richard Marx guy, dude. I like about 7 or 8 songs of his from back in the day. I don't like listen to him on Spotify on the way home or anything like that. But every once in a while, I try to chill out, you know. At home, drinking some Cavassier.
JHNSB, he's saying it's tecuaches. That's the formal term of the Edgar. Los tecuaches.
Okay. Yeah, I'm telling you, man, we need to have an Edgar history, man. We need an Edgar history buff.
We need to, they had this, our friend over at Chancla Academy, right?
Yeah.
He had a Sucia Fest, right? Where they had these Sucias.
Edgar Fest.
Edgar Fest.
Yeah, Edgar Fest.
Who has the best
Wait,
Edgar,
I
man?
missed the Sucia Fest?
You missed the Sucia Fest. Chancla Academy had it. They even had judges.
Really?
Yeah, it was at a local bar they had.
Dude,
here.
when I was in New Orleans, I was watching a twerking contest. And one of the ones twerking was like at least 7 or 8 months pregnant. And it was like,
Hey.
you didn't notice it until she got up and turned around. You're like, whoa. Well, now I know why you got pregnant, man. Joined by Spurnandez, Joe Garcia. We're going to go for about another hour or so. Dude, yesterday, I was doing my yard. And what I love doing my yard, dude. I farm everything else out.
Picture video where it didn't happen, bro.
I farm everything out, dude. I don't clean the inside of my house for anything other than do my laundry. You know, I have Norma come by and clean the house. But I love doing my yard. It's very therapeutic, right? But I needed a new battery for my Ryobi. So, you know, back in the day, it was all about the Craftsman. It was about the gas guzzling and all that.
Frank, dude.
That's beautiful. That's a beautiful bitch. But, dude, have you ever tried replacing a battery for a Ryobi? Okay, I went to Home Depot to go get a battery for the Ryobi. The battery and the port was $250. The actual lawnmower with the battery and the port was $299. Just bought a new lawnmower. So I was out there until 10 o'clock last night. So I hope my neighbors didn't get pissed off, but I ain't gonna be doing the yard when it's 105 degrees outside.
Look at what Chicana Fuerte says. She goes, Mike would like watching a twerking contest.
You know, I mean, I part about 7 or 8 minutes of it. You know, I nodded up and down. It wasn't bad.
But you don't look like the type that would like to do yard work. Like you have people do that for you.
I love doing yard work, man.
You know,
I was trimming my.
That's a little surprising.
I trimmed the bushes, man. I shaped the bushes. I was sawed off branches to my tree to kind of make it more symmetrical and get the lower ones out. Dude, I love doing yard work.
What did you cut the bushes with?
The electric.
Yeah. You don't know. I'm just playing with you.
I got a man. I got a man saw, dude. The saw that I use with the tree just go like 7, 8 times. Mother truck is down, baby.
Yeah.
But no, man. I love doing the yard, dude. I take pride in doing my yard.
Charlie Hernandez, Mike can't handle the twerk.
I mean, do you need to handle it? All I gotta do is just watch it, baby. All you gotta do is watch it.
Sounds like you can't handle the truth.
The ripple, the ocean, the motion of the ocean, baby. That's what I'm talking about.
Man.
But let's talk a little bit of sports, man. What the hell happened yesterday?
A lot of things happened.
I mean, lots of things
happened.
What are we talking about first? We're talking about the actual games,
yeah,
or the post game Demon Mike comments.
Let's talk about the actual games first, because these games were just insane, dude. The Mavericks actually winded up getting a win, you know, and that was surprising to me. Luka Doncic out there playing off of one leg. The dude, I mean, his knee is just like, it's bothering him, dude. I don't know if he's going to be even able to play another. He's going to have to at least play maybe one more game and take a game off. He's going to have to do something, man, because he doesn't look like he's very mobile out there.
No, he doesn't, man. He was still 5 for 8 from 3, 29 points, 10 rebounds, 7 assists. I think the big storyline of the game was, or one of them is that SGA didn't get to the line as often. You saw the coach of Dallas get pissed off. You saw the players get pissed off after game 1 because all SGA was doing was just going to the line. Just phantom calls, ticky-tack calls. He had 13 free throw attempts. Last night, he had just 6. So if he's away from the line, that's part of his bag. I saw that meme that made me laugh. It said, look, SGA is in his bag, and it showed him at the free throw line, right? But you keep him off the line. He still had a great game, 33 points, 12 rebounds, 8 assists, but you kept him off the line. You took away the easy points from him. Chet Holmgren only with 11 points of 4 of 12 shooting, so he had an off night.
Chet has not been stellar, dude, in these playoffs. He's been lackluster.
Well, what's happening also is that this team has been – it used to be the Oklahoma City was a five-headed monster out there, right? No. Everyone was contributing. And right now it's only 2 or 3 a game that are contributing. But Dallas went off and did their thing. Dallas, led most of the game, went on to win the game. The entire series at 1 apiece. Dude, when you win a game and Kyrie Irving only has 9 points on the road and Luka Doncic is on one leg, that means other people stepped up. PJ Washington, 29 points.
Too bad
Hardaway,
he fouled
17.
out, dude.
Yeah. This is going to be an interesting series. I think Oklahoma City is still going to win this series, but in order to win the series, they have to go to Dallas and steal home court advantage back. But yesterday was huge because you had a game between Cleveland and Boston where it was, according to ESPN Analytics, one of the biggest upsets ever in NBA history because of how big of a when you look at like how much a team is favored by compared to the results. Boston was favored by 13, lost by 24. That is a 37-point spread, between what Vegas thought was going to happen and how that was one of the biggest reversals in NBA playoff history. But they just looked off, man. They just looked off. Nothing went wrong. Went right for Boston. Cleveland went out. I mean, it was a close game at halftime. It was tied at halftime, but the second half, man, Cleveland just went off.
Yeah, Boston just wasn't feeling it, man. You could tell they were just not themselves. They didn't have the energy. Rick, what did you think? I mean, you probably saw both games, the Maverick game and this Boston and the Cavaliers game. What did you think?
Yeah, well, I just always find it interesting because series, what I love about series is after one game, people are like, oh, it's over, because somebody looks amazing or whatever, or they go up 2-0 or whatever. But, hey, sometimes you reach down and it's not there, like for Boston, right? Like everyone's like, oh, Boston's gonna easy beat them, and they show and they blow a dud, right? Or whatever. So I just find that interesting, because you play the same team over and over. So now you're talking adjustments from coaches, right? You're talking a lot of different factors, home and away. So that's what I do like about series versus like in a March Madness instance, it's one and done is also fun because anything can happen in one given day, right? But yeah, I think the better team usually prevails over the long period of time because you have to win 4 games, right?
These games, like you said, it's all about matchups. It's also about how you respond, how you course correct after seeing this one team for 1 or 2 games, right? And the best coaches are the ones who make the adjustments. Derek White yesterday was a shell of himself. He came back down to earth. It was bound to happen, right? It was bound to happen because he, was just playing like an MVP caliber type of player for so long. Last night, just 10 points. You're going to have these duds. So we have people asking the question, is it going to be a gentleman's sweep? I think that it is. I think Boston goes over there, wins 2 in Cleveland, comes back and wins game 5 and just makes it so.
Yeah, it was Chris Gonzalez. Mike is the Cavs versus Celtics, still a gentleman's sweep.
Well, I mean, I remember last year
probably
when I had my show on Sports Star, I remember people made fun of me during the NBA Finals because Denver played, was it Miami in the finals? And Miami won game 2, stole one game in Denver. And I told everybody it was going to be a 5-game series, and everyone thought that I was an idiot for saying that. And I said, no, Miami stealing game 2 proved to me that it was going to be a 5-game series because so many different things needed to happen. They needed to play an A+ game, and Denver had to play a D- game for them to even barely win.
Yeah. And look at Raul says right now, one of our listeners, he doesn't trust Boston because he thinks they're a soft-ass team.
That is the knock on them. I mean, Tatum is a good player. That's the knock on him. Horford's old legs, still dragging around doing what he's doing. Derek White. I think the Celtics revolve around Derek White more than we like to admit. I think we like to think that this is Jaylen Brown's team or Tatum's team, but it's not. They go as Derek goes. If Derek's having a good game, they're having a good game.
Yeah, he brings that energy off the bench, kind of like he dictates the memento out there on the court.
He's a good player, dude.
Yeah,
he's a good player. But hey, we got Blake Wesley in exchange.
Hey, don't let Matt Lerma hear you say that.
Like we got Blake Wesley in exchange.
I want to see Matt wear his Blake Wesley jersey at the game.
And a 2028 swap that's never going to happen. I love your Texican hat battle, by the way.
Oh yeah, man! Shout out to you, Tex-Mex Frank. And you know what? We're going to be giving these other really nice hats out to some of our listeners out here, man.
Wow!
So shout out to you guys. I got to get with Midtown Texas because he had a great comment the other day that made us laugh.
Yeah.
So I got to send him some a carne asada patrol sticker.
So let's talk about what happened after the game. Did you see this, Rick?
Oh my God!
Did you hear about this?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so Luka
this is wild. Yeah, this is wild.
Game interview, and
do you have it?
Wait, I don't have it. Do you have it?
Yeah, I'm gonna get it up right now.
Okay. So for those of you who don't know, someone must have been on some sort of naughty site, some sort of site that's no longer allowed in Texas, like Pornhub or whatnot. But let's go ahead and hear what happened last night when Luka Doncic took to the podium.
Let's see if I can get this. For some reason, I don't want to come up here, but we'll bring it up in a minute. And we'll share the audio. And here we go. Let me go ahead and make sure that we can hear this.
It's courtesy of the NBA.
Courtesy of NBA. This was during the live press conference.
We were open shots, so just our sharing the ball and our energy was great.
What do you think? Okay.
His face is priceless.
You see his face, dude?
Okay, that was like a Southwest Airlines want to get away. Imagine being a reporter and I don't know, you're calling up, you want to look up something on your phone and you forgot to close out the porn app.
Hey, no, I think what it was is somebody learned what happens when you take off your Bluetooth headset.
Oh, someone was watching it?
They were probably watching it and they took off their Bluetooth earbuds or something and they're like, oh, crap. You know, as soon as you just...
see, my mind goes somewhere else than the porn thing. That might have been somebody's, personal videos, between him and his girl or whatever, him and his girl or her and her man or whatever. And that, voiced over. I don't know. But either way, it was awesome,
I like this. Look at his face, bro. That's like the meme that they've made of you already with your face, your surprised face.
What's that?
That they have going up.
Oh,
that was funny. I mean, that is hilarious. That is USOA approved.
Okay.
Well, hey, it could be like, hey, babe, don't send me this right now. I'm trying to interview Luka Doncic.
Well, if we're gonna be talking USOA stuff, let's show my screen real quick. And Spurnandez may be interested in this. Our runner-up in the baddie brackets was Sydney Sweeney, right? I personally think that she's the one that should have won, but Sydney Sweeney is one of the hottest women in all of Hollywood right now, right? Both, physically and also in what she's doing talent-wise, right? She's going to be in a sports movie. Spurnandez, did you hear about that?
I heard about it, and I got something on this, but yeah.
Okay, she is going to be starring as a former boxer named Christy Martin. I remember that name back in the day.
Oh yeah.
So she's going to be in a biopic about Christy Martin, the boxer. Now, here's some bona fides of her. So we see Sydney Sweeney right now, nugget. She's a 10. She's a modern day Marilyn Monroe.
And she's a brunette now.
And she's a brunette right now. But did you know that Sydney Sweeney for 6 years was in MMA training?
How about that?
Did you know that she took part in a contest, in a competition when she was a teenager on MMA in grappling, and she got first place in that contest? She's in the mixed martial arts. She's athletic when it comes to things, and she says, quote unquote, I've been itching to start training for her role as Christy. By the way, her sensei was the sensei of what was that MMA fighter, that female MMA fighter back in the day, Ronda Rousey. So she's working with Ronda Rousey's people over the years. What are your thoughts on a Sydney Sweeney playing a boxer in a movie?
I'll tell you what, I love this actually, because I'll tell you, Christy Martin, for those who don't know, has an amazing story. So Mike has got the Sydney Sweeney part down. I got the Christy Martin real life stuff down. And I will say this though, I think she might have to gain a little bit of weight on this, because Christy Martin wasn't a tiny thing. I mean, the girl was built, and she was a tank, right? So I'm interested to see how they play this, her role playing Christy Martin. Christy Martin is like a pioneer in women's boxing, for those who don't know. She was on Don King undercards with Mike Tyson, Chavez, Trinidad back in the 90s, right? And this was before women's boxing was what it is today. So we're talking, she turned pro in 89, she amassed a 49-7 record with 3 draws and 31 knockouts. 31 knockouts, in today's women's boxing, there's usually not a lot of knockouts, but she was putting ladies out. 49 wins with 31 KOs. She fought Layla Ali, Muhammad Ali's daughter. I mean, she is a pioneer in women's boxing and who's who. And so this is awesome that she's having this story, and her personal life is also pretty wild. I mean, her husband was her trainer. I don't want to give away probably some of the movie, but there's a doc on it, so this isn't like a spoiler or anything. He tried to kill her and he abused her, and she went through a lot of hardships in her life. No, from her husband / trainer. It's an amazing story, and I know we're excited about Sydney Sweeney playing it and all that, but the story itself of Christy Martin is really an amazing one.
Maybe this is something that gets Sydney Sweeney that credibility out there, because
this is going to be more of a serious role. I'm telling you right now, because Christy Martin, she went through a lot of tough times, and her personal life is very tumultuous. So I think this is an amazing role for her. I think this is going to help her blossom.
Well, you think about like $1 Million Baby and movies like that. Sydney Sweeney, who, by the way, has been nominated for big awards before. I know she's kind of right now in rom-coms. People are saying, hey, I saw that movie, Anybody But You, and she sucked in that movie. Well, most rom-coms suck anyway, right? She does rom-coms because if you want to do a passion project, you need to do a rom-com, right? One for me, one for you. That's how Hollywood works. She's not going to be doing passion projects all day long, because then she'll be a nobody.
Yeah.
But Sydney Sweeney and Sith Elias say, all I need to know is, will Sydney be topless in this? There's been nothing where she wasn't topless.
I don't think Christy Martin is going to be topless in this. I'm just telling you. So we're talking. Sydney is playing Christy. So right.
So what are your thoughts on Sydney Sweeney not only being someone who's been doing MMA competitions for 6 years, but she's also a mechanic, a car mechanic?
Hey, I was telling you, dude, the girl likes to get down and fix her vehicles, man.
Dude, have you seen that before, Rick?
Yeah, she has YouTube videos, dude, where she's fixing her ride, dude. She's like a mechanic.
Yeah, she's a full-on mechanic. That's what her family does. And
wow,
she reminds me of what's the Vito character on My Cousin Vinny, dude.
Oh,
man.
Mona Lisa Vito.
Yeah.
Modern day Mona Lisa Vito, dude. Does this take her up a level there in your rankings,
dude?
Here?
She's an MMA fighter trained. She's a mechanic. She's a knockout. I mean, bro, what else do you need, man?
These tire marks couldn't be made from a 94 Skylark.
And was it also available in that metallic?
It's a bullshit question, because you can't answer it. That is the classic. That is the classic. Oh,
but does this make her hotter? Do the goggles make her hotter?
Man, that's pretty wild. I'll tell you what, that she, Chicana Fuertes in that mode. She can fix cars. She can, play music. She can do all that stuff. So any man would love a well-rounded woman that can do stuff like that, right? That's definitely where you want.
Tune-ups in more ways than one.
Look at what our good friend Sith over here showed us too, man.
We're set up.
He said that he was a Marbach cut too. He's putting the indigenous, where they actually originated the Marbach cut, the Edgar. And him with his Edgar.
So you're telling me that there was some guy from Exit 7 who was on a field trip, right? And saw that and was like, you know what? I'm gonna do that.
You know what? They can remake Encino Man. You remember that movie Encino Man?
Oh yeah, man.
Right. They could remake that and it'd be Marbach Mob Man, right? Edgar Man or something, right? So the Edgar Man comes back, into John Jay or something, and he's a caveman amongst us with Edgar, Encino Man style.
So last night we were talking a little bit more about entertainment. We kind of just going meandering back and forth, but going from Sydney Sweeney to entertainment. Last night there was a death of a TV character, and it got me thinking about it because, and I'm not giving anything away because everyone knew that this was going to happen. Okay, but there was a death in the TV show Young Sheldon yesterday, and it's part of Big Bang Theory canon.
Oh man, you're not going to give away
everyone knows who died.
Yeah,
right.
But I mean,
but it got me thinking: has there ever been a TV death that just got you in the feels, that just like hurt you? I know back in the day, people were all up in arms when McDreamy died from Grey's Anatomy, right? When Patrick Dempsey's character died. Dude, when I saw that, the way that they killed him off on that show, like season 12 or whatever it was brutal, dude. Was brutal because they had it where he was in a car accident and he knew that the young doctor attending to him was doing it wrong, but he couldn't vocalize it. But he knew that he was dying because he knew that they were doing the wrong procedure. Yeah. That was creepy.
The one that got me they got so mad that they killed off one of my favorite characters. I stopped watching The Walking Dead. It's when they killed off Glenn, dude.
Oh, really?
Negan, the villain, the big bad, came in there and off the dude with the freaking bat and just beat the crap out of him. Basically, his eyeball popped out and everything. He beat him. He beat the dude in front of his girl that was pregnant with his baby, and that was it. I was like, you know what? You killed off one of the best characters. I'm out, dude. After that, I stopped watching.
Raul on our YouTube stream saying when James died in Good Times. Oh my God. Jonathan C. also echoed by John Dyer on Twitter about this. Was both said the same thing. Any of the deaths that happened, Brendan Fraser's character who died on Scrubs. Now, Brendan Fraser's character was not a main character. He was just he came on for 1 or 2 episodes or so. But that one was brutal. That was brutal. I mean, I'm going to watch that one today. That's going to give me a good cry.
You know, I don't really have a series show death like that, but I tell you what death in the movies got me. G-Baby, man. Hardball.
Oh,
man. I never to this day I don't forgive Michael B. Jordan for that. That's Michael B. Jordan's fault. You know what I'm saying? That was his first role. You remember that? I don't know.
I remember that.
Hardball, Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
It's a classic movie, right? Michael B. Jordan is his first role in the movie. And they let G-Baby, man.
That one gets you in the feels, bro.
Alamo on the Rise on Twitter says Brooks Hatland from Shawshank Redemption.
No, man.
Now, what about what movie was it? Boys in the Hood.
Ricky.
When Ricky gets shot in the middle of the alleyway,
we're trying to run away.
Dude,
boom, boom.
Have you seen the bowling thing that they have for that one? It's so bad. You know how like whenever you get a spare,
yeah.
When you get a spare, and they do the animation up there, or you get a strike. They have one about Ricky from Boys in the Hood. It's so bad. Dude. It's so bad. Let me see if I can find it. Give me 1 second. Okay. Here it goes. Look at show my screen.
Oh. Uh-oh. Let me see if I can get back to it. Hold on. Give me a second.
It was cutting in and out. I don't.
There you go.
Sorry, I was cutting. You guys were cutting in and out. I couldn't hear.
There it is.
The bowling animation of Ricky being shot in Boys in the Hood. It's this bright future. No, Ricky. And he throws the books. Just running to the pins, running down the alleyway, and boom!
Wow.
That's kind of graphic, bro. They're showing this over here in the bowling alley. Man, that bowling ball has a bandana and everything, bro.
Man, that's intense.
And then it says spare.
That is awesome. That's intense.
Rick, you were talking about, hey, they have the Edgar for Encino Man, right?
Yeah.
And then somebody had put in here a really good comment. Here it is, dude. Tacuache Man.
Yeah, there it is. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, bro. There's an Encino Man a remake with Tacuache Man as the Edgar guy, and bring him back to John Jay, and all that kind of stuff. So.
Still holding on to a beer from Fiesta, chicken on a stick.
There's gonna be, like thousands of years from now, there's gonna be, the fossils of the Edgar, the cup stack, and all that.
Oh man, Christopher Leha logging on now. Saw someone commented on Midney Sweeney. He's not a Sidney Sweeney fan at all. When Jack got killed in Four Brothers, and Chicano Fuerte, Jack. It was funny too. I don't know if you all ever seen that movie. They had me in stitches, dude. I was laughing. It was called 10,000 BC, right? And one of the main character's mentor gets killed off. And the guy's just screaming real loud, and I started cracking up. He's like, "No, tick, tick."
Chris Gonzalez reaches out to us and says, "The guys from The Perfect Storm." That was a good one.
Oh, yeah. That was a good one.
You know what? I used to watch The Untouchables a lot growing up, and Sean Connery's death in that movie really got me, man, because he thought that he tricked the person that had broken into his house. But he didn't realize that there was somebody at the window, that there was a second person there, second gunman. And then later on in the movie, he died like a pig. He died squealing like a pig. That guy's character, that was one of the ugliest characters ever. But yeah, we have people asking the question: are we doing movie deaths right now?
Movie deaths that we're talking about.
Because of the
what about Mel Gibson's character, dude, and Braveheart? That was kind of brutal way to go, bro.
That was brutal because he, got
las tripas
taken out, dude.
Yeah,
there you go. Entrained was what they call it, or whatever it is. Man, but R.I.P. Young Sheldon. Next week's their last episode, but it's part of Big Bang Theory canon, So if you follow Big Bang Theory, you know what's going to go on in Young Sheldon. But it got me thinking, dude. One of my favorite TV shows of the last 10 years was Nashville, and one of the main characters, Raina James, when they killed her off, no one saw it coming. There was no like, oh, by the way, she's going to get killed off. I just remember looking at my ex, looking at each other going, what the hell just happened? Like, that didn't just happen. Bobby Ewing on Dallas.
Who killed JR?
Oh man, we're going way back. We're going way back.
Man, Who Killed JR was probably like the most watched TV show at the time.
And it was all a dream. Bobby's in the shower.
Stupid, man.
What about Susan from Seinfeld licking stamps? Licking envelopes, licking your wedding envelopes, right? And dying, right? Because George Costanza was so cheap that he bought the cheapest glue, adhesive that couldn't close a stamp, right? Or close an envelope.
You know which one got me though? This one was a serious one though. I used to watch this show called *Halt and Catch Fire* because I'm a big geek, at heart. And this is dealing with, like Silicon Valley back in the early 80s, 90s, late 90s kind of thing, right? So I've been watching this show since it started, right? And then all of a sudden they're getting into the last season. And then one of the main characters, dude, that's been there, one of the OGs from the beginning, the guy just up and dies, dude. And he has cancer, right? And all this kind of stuff. And he finds out and all that. Oh, okay, he's sick and all this. And they just show him coming home one time with his girlfriend. Just falls down on the ground, and that was how he died. That was it. There wasn't like, oh, there's gonna be some finality to it, or it was just one of those things like in life. You never know. It just happens, And that one got me, dude. I was like, oh shit.
It's sad.
Yeah.
Some of these really get you in the feels, but
I always find it interesting, like the real life reason why, like sometimes they have to write out a character, you know what I mean? So like, and sometimes it's unplanned, or I don't know, so let's say that, a real life like dispute with the actor that doesn't want to, I don't know, whatever. And so they have to write in something to kill them off. Like, so I always find that interesting too, when you find out like that real backstory as to why, because sometimes there is a reason. I mean, sometimes it's planned and it's part of the script, but sometimes it's not. It's like, hey, there was a dispute or financial issue or something, so they have to like turn in there and write them off. But man, dude. Macaulay Culkin and my girl, that's the bees, man. The bees, bro. The bees. Thomas J, man. You know what I'm saying? The bees. He needs his glasses. Yeah, that's a tough one, man. Yeah.
Oh man, look at Tex-Mex Frank when they kill Sonny and The Godfather. It's like, man, when Marlon Brando sees his son's bullet-riddled body and says, "Look how they massacred my boy."
Oh,
hey,
great movie.
That's a tough one. Yeah,
but that was Sonny's fault.
It was Sonny's fault.
Adriana from The Sopranos, dude. I Meadow Soprano, the girl who played Meadow Soprano. Yeah, she did it for me, dude, for many years. Even today, man. I watch her podcasts. She's a nugget. You mentioned Spurnandez. You mentioned Seinfeld, right? I have on my screen right now.
Yeah.
Jerry Seinfeld earlier this week was on the Rich Eisen show. Courtesy of Roku channels. Some of the classic Seinfeld episodes, which right now Seinfeld, all the episodes are on Netflix right now. He was talking about one of the classic episodes that Rich Eisen had brought up, and he goes, "Do you know the story behind this? Remember the episode where George Costanza pretends to be a marine biologist to impress this one girl at the beach?"
The whale,
and then the whale gets beached, and then you have Kramer.
The sea was angry that day, my friend. Like an old man trying to return soup at a deli.
Yeah. So he was telling the story about this show, and it was so funny because he was talking about how Kramer is teeing off onto into the ocean.
Hole in one. Yeah.
Teeing off into the ocean, and how it's one of the most classic scenes, classic episodes. But what happened was the ending wasn't that great, and it was the night before they were taping. He goes, dude, we rewrote the ending of the script because we realized that they'd already filmed it out there. They'd already filmed it out on location at the beach and whatnot. And Seinfeld's telling Rich Eisen that they had to come up with an ending at the end. So that speech at the diner was created overnight, and they came up and they gave the script to Costanza or the guy in real
Jason
life,
Alexander.
They gave him the script and they said, this is a monologue. It's 2.5 pages long. You have 25 minutes, 30 minutes to get it right.
Yeah.
And then he looked at it, he goes, yeah, no problem. I got this. And they were showing that whenever they in the scene, Jerry's character is bug-eyed, and he goes, I wasn't bug-eyed because of like trying to play a character. He goes, I couldn't believe that he was getting it on the first take. The sea was angry that day, and all that stuff. And then the line of, was it a Titleist?
He goes, bloop.
He gets the ball. And Jerry Seinfeld's telling Rich Eisen about how they had to go and call Titleist to see if they could actually say that name, because they didn't want any other they didn't want any other brand. And it wasn't until like the hour of filming that they got permission to use it, because they rewrote it, because they said you can't say, is it a Callaway?
Yeah.
Is it a whatever? That it had to be Titleist, because that's just, it's a funny word is what he was saying. But man, that show is so brilliant.
I'm a big Seinfeld guy, right? I love Seinfeld. You know, Larry David, co-creator Seinfeld, you know, and Curb Your Enthusiasm. A lot of that stuff is improv and changed at the last minute and things like that. And it's just the comedic genius of Jerry Seinfeld, Larry David, the crew, Jason Alexander, right? Julia Louis-Dreyfus that plays Elaine, and of course Michael Richards that plays Kramer. But yeah, like even like the funny little like in that same speech where with the he's like I was tossed and I was looking right into the eye of the great fish, and Jerry's like, mammal. He's like, yeah, whatever. You know, like just that like that quickly, like George is trying to tell this story and he's trying to be intense about it, and he calls it a fish, and Jerry's like, it's a mammal, you know, and he's like, yeah, whatever. That's just those little comedic things are classic, man. Like, you know,
the amount of money that Seinfeld left on the table to do one more season, and it's kind of like the show never got old. The show never got old. He didn't allow it. There's very few TV shows out there that are at their apex and they pull the plug because they're like, you know what, we're just not going to have this suck anymore. Okay, to pull a Barry Sanders, where you pull your plug on your career, you will never know what Barry Sanders would have looked like when he was on the decline, because we never saw it, right? Schitt's Creek is that way. Schitt's Creek had its run. People fell in love with it during COVID, even though it existed before then. But you never saw Schitt's Creek decline, because right when it was at its highest peak, the best episodes they ever had, they were done. And because of that, they're forever going to be known as all-time greats.
So one of our listeners was telling us right now, Sith, he's like, hey, check the Shannon Sharp and the Shaquille O'Neal beef, because they're going back and forth on the X, right? And it's because of Shaq's comments the other day. Remember what you were telling me about? Oh, that's kind of weak for him to with Jokic, right? Yeah.
Did you see that, Rick? So Shaq,
I did.
Shaq was presenting Jokic with the MVP, basically congratulating him. The first thing he does is pull a Kanye and say, "Let me be the first to tell you, I don't think you deserve this." And so what's going on with Shannon?
Yeah, so he had some, I guess, comments or something he was saying about. He's talking about Shaq and what he said. So I'm going to put it up here. Let me go ahead and get that, because again, man, we're doing this stuff on the fly. As you know, sometimes the listeners dictate what we're going to actually talk about, which is kind of wild, you know. But that's just the show in real time. So here we go. I'll go ahead and play the audio. Let me get this ready, because for some reason they can't.
Ocho, everyone's family. Okay. Shaq, about the comment that I said last night. Shaq said, you took me sticking up for Shay as jealousy of Joker shows how smart you are and how you say anything to get clicks. That's not what I did. But anyway, so here's the clickbait for you. If I ain't ranked in the top 10 in your profession, then you can't speak. Don't forget, I know what you did and where you're at. Me jealous sounds like you jealous. I know you're trying to stay relevant by gossiping on your podcast. We don't believe you. Ocho, everyone's family. Okay. Shaq, about the comments that I said last night. Shaq said, you took me sticking up for Shea as jealous.
So that's basically the gist of it, you know. He was just saying, hey, this is what I'm saying. It has nothing to do with jealousy. They're going back and forth, you know. Basically, this is what this is, you know. It's I don't know, man. I don't really think it's much about anything. I just think it's a difference of opinion.
I do appreciate Shannon. And by the way, what Shannon's been able to accomplish on the podcast front is remarkable. You know, because when he first came out and was on FS1, I didn't think he was any good.
Oh, now it's it.
But then I realized what it is that he had a bad running point for this, because it was the skip show, you know, for Shannon, right? Shannon had to fill in the gaps. The Shannon on his own does a pretty good job, man. And when you see him go with Ocho, they do a fantastic job together. But it was tacky. It was classless. And I wonder if like TNT's okay with Shaq being an asshole like that, because, dude, you're announcing an award. They're taking their time out of their precious time, right? How much time do they have to themselves these days during a playoff run to be out there and say thank you for the award?
Yeah.
You know, I'm honored, and to say you don't deserve it.
And Shaq's not even playing anymore, you know,
right? And part of this, Spurnandez, we were talking about yesterday, I think there's a reluctance of NBA fans to look at Nikola Jokic and think that he's an all-time great. But there's not that many players in NBA history. You could probably count them on one hand that have 3 or more MVPs. You know, so you have, you know, Kareem has more. You know, Jordan has more. But LeBron has more. But that's it. That is it. So Nikola Jokic is a top 15 player of all time, and a lot of people don't want to do that anymore. And I think that there's some backlash right now. Remember, for many years there was backlash from, and I hate to say it this way, but it is what it is. There was a backlash from white Americans on the NBA because they thought the NBA was too black. And I think that there's a backlash from the African American community right now towards a lot of the European and white stars, because if you take a look at who are the best stars, they're white. They're European, or if they are black, African heritage, they're from France. You know, Giannis is from Greece. They're not from New York. They're not playing at Rucker Park. They're not playing in LA. They're not playing in Florida or Texas or Louisiana. They're coming from someplace else. And I think there's backlash because of it.
Yeah, I think there's like an American bias, right? Where you see a guy like Joker and you're like, well, he's European, you know, he's from another country. He doesn't really talk a lot of trash. I think some of that is subliminal. Like, some people would say, like, oh, I don't really care about the
audio dropped out
and all that kind.
Oh, there he is. Okay, he's back. He's back.
I don't know. Yeah, if Joker was American and controversial and talked a lot of, you know, it'd be different, right? And people would, you know, it's just one of those things where he's almost a victim of, just because he's a European and like a not really a trash talker and kind of just fundamental. He's you know, it's almost like a Tim Duncan's thing, like where, well, he doesn't do anything exciting, you know what I mean, all that, but hey, he wins, man, you know what I mean, and he's getting MVP. So, you know, what do you want?
John C. reaches out and says, I think NBA purists hate that Jokic doesn't care about the accolades. He just sees us as a job. Dio reaches out and says, I think he told him to his face because he had said it earlier in the broadcast. If anything, he's being respectful to, you know, basically just fess up. I understand all that, but it's not the time.
I mean, but that's not the time and the place. Exactly. I agree with that. You know what? If you want to tell him to his face, I can respect that. But
I would, place? Right. Yeah, I mean, maybe do it at the end of the interview. Just that's what that's
the first thing out of his mouth. Well, you know, the damn near first thing out of his mouth. Yeah.
And you know, so you are a patriotic guy. You serve the United States military. Thank you for our freedom. Thank you for your service. But I asked a question that was very patriotic in nature on Twitter yesterday. And I asked the question, Team USA is playing Team France. Let's say that it's for the gold medal. And let's say that France is winning by 1. Last second shot by Kawhi. Last second shot by LeBron. Last second shot by Steph Curry. They're being defended by Victor Wembanyama. What do you want to happen?
That's a that's a bait right there, right? You're trying to bait somebody in there, especially when you said Kawhi Leonard. The first one you said was Kawhi, and I thought that was funny.
The
right?
nephew.
Yeah. I don't know. I hope just the lights go out and then like nothing happens or something. And
he was a fighter, dude.
Yeah.
The
The power goes out in Paris and like a whole thing shuts down and no, that's fun. I'm going with the U.S. Come on, man. I gotta go. I gotta go with my USA, man. You know what I'm saying? Come on. So
you want Kawhi to posterize Wemby for the gold medal.
Man, I'm gonna get a lot of heat. I'm gonna get a lot of heat on this. I'm gonna get a lot of heat on this on Twitter.
Viva la France.
Viva la France.
Viva la resistance. Viva la resistance. Yeah.
Top Secret was a great movie.
Hey, that movie was freaking hilarious. I just finished watching that.
Escargot, souffle, and chocolat.
I watched that actually in the summertime last year with my son, and he's like, these 80s comedies are just freaking wild, bro.
JHNSB reaches out to us and says Spurs are greater than America. So, I am Team USA for every sport except basketball. F those guys, dude. I don't want LeBron to win a gold. I don't want Kawhi to win a gold. F those guys, man.
So you're not going to root for the home team just because you're spiteful.
My home team is Victor Wembanyama.
Oh, my God.
Budos in Paris. Budos in Paris, baby. That's what
red, white, and blue, bro. Team USA all the way.
Dude, Team USA on track and field, boxing, Team USA on everything. Gymnastics. I'm all about it. Basketball court? No, dude. That's Steph Curry. I'm not suddenly going to get patriotic because LeBron James wearing red, white, and blue. No, F that guy. I hate him in purple. I hate him in red. I hate him in whatever colors they were wearing in South Beach. I hate him.
You know what? If there was a hot girl over there and they'd be like, hey, put on this American Eagle hat. Bro, you'd be wearing that hat in a second, man. Go to USA.
What happens, Spurnandez, since I'm going to be single again officially in a couple of months? What happens if what happens if I date a girl who is a Cowboys fan? How do I take that? A diehard Cowboys fan? Because don't get me wrong.
I hope you do, man. I hope you do.
I'd be turned on by them being a sports fan, but if they're a Cowboys fan, do I have to cheer for them? Is that what happens?
Mike hates America.
Well, but I mean, the goal would be for you to turn her to your team. I mean, we got to see what kind of moxie you got.
What kind of game you got? We got brutal game. That's what you said.
That's what we got to find out. Hey, so can you turn the diehard Cowboys girl into the Saints? That'll be interesting to see.
Hey, but Rick, you're forgetting, man. We got the tape where Mike said, "Tengo chingo de game." I got puro game.
Dude, I got to dust it off, baby. I got to dust it off, but I used to.
Chingos de game.
Yeah,
I used to.
Hey, I mean, and the odds are here in San Antonio, man. The odds of her being a Cowboys fan is probably pretty good. So,
but the thing is, with the Cowboys fan, she's not expecting a ring anytime soon.
Man, I remember this with Tim Gonzalez. Didn't Jimenez say a while back he didn't trust Wemby? You damn right, sure you did. You sure did.
I don't trust Wemby.
Tim Gonzalez.
I don't trust any athlete when they talk to the media. Dude.
Tim Gonzalez bringing out the receipt.
It is everybody. By the way, if you can show my screen real fast.
Oh, I like this one too. Chris Gonzalez, you can't trust girls who are Cowboy fans. She sticks to
the official haircut of Cowboy fan is the cut. Is the Marbach cut, Marbach mop. Hey, what is going on with Miss USA and Miss Teen USA? Did you hear about this, Fernandez?
No.
They both resigned this week.
They both did what?
They both resigned. This is stuff that doesn't happen. They both resigned. Miss USA and Miss Teen USA. Reigning Miss USA, her name is Noella Voigt, and Miss Teen USA, Uma Sofia, both abdicated their titles this week, according to Yahoo News, citing mental health concerns and conflict of values within the organization that they were representing.
It's probably just too much for them to handle, dude.
Well, apparently, from the what people are saying, like the whispers are, they kind of felt like they were being silenced as to what they could talk about, what they couldn't talk about. And they were like, well, if we're not going to be able to speak our mind, F this title, we're going to step down.
Yeah, I mean, it's just too much to handle. You want to be able to represent, but then you're being controlled.
Yes.
You know, so it's like
Yeah, but to me, honestly, like I don't know, like why are they surprised by that? Like,
Yeah.
like they've obviously been in this pageant circuit for a while to be where they're at, right? And I'm not a pageant expert. I'm just saying it has to be. So this isn't like didn't come up out of nowhere. Like I'm pretty sure this isn't like a new thing. Like a title like Miss USA, whatever. I mean, you represent a bigger picture, bigger organization. Like I think it's common sense that you can't just say and do whatever you want. I mean, I think that's. I mean, like I'm a Marine, right? And if I'm wearing my Marine uniform and I'm representing a greater organization, I can't just get up and say what I want. I mean, right? I mean, I don't know. So I don't think that's any different than a lot of other things. And to me, it just seems odd that until they won, now they're saying that. I is what I'm saying. I don't know.
So,
I mean,
so Chris Gonzalez reaches out to us and says that they sent out a cryptic message, and that's also the thing. When Miss USA publicized her resignation letter, if you took the letters of every starting word in the actual resignation, it spelled out "I am silenced."
hey man, if they
that's a lot
explain
of
that
time.
non-disclosure,
Dude,
That's a lot of. I mean, man, or I don't know. You're public.
That is some serial killer nonsense. That's awful.
I think we lost him.
He just
He
dropped out for a
froze.
second.
Yeah. That's like, hey, you remember Con Air?
Yeah.
Movie Con Air, where they cut out the holes and like that's how they deciphered the.
Oh yeah.
You remember that? Like that's crazy. That's insane. You know.
Chris reaches out and says, "I thought this was a pageant for a scholarship fund. Sandra Bullock lied to me." Dude,
remember when she jumped at the guy with the gun in San Antonio?
Yeah, in front of the Alamo.
How
do they allow that to be done in front of the Alamo?
Chicana fuerte.
I cheer for the Cowboys.
Real quick, Chicana fuerte. I cheer for the Cowboys because of Rick. See, that's what I'm talking about.
No, man.
But no, remember when Sandra jumped on some gun?
I think he's talking about how Sandra Bullock, she was over here with what was the name of that movie?
Miss Congeniality.
Yes, Miss Congeniality.
Yeah.
Filmed in front of the Alamo.
She jumped on a guy because she thought he was going to wield a gun, or take a gun out. You know.
I'll tell you what. If you want to go to my screen real fast, this scene right here, the Mustang Sally scene of Miss Congeniality when they get Sandra Bullock out of the makeover, dude. In the mid '90s, late '90s. This is what I was all about. This is kind of Hefe type girl right there, right? This is a
built for speed,
built for a Jeff Garcia, Locked On Spurs, Ken's 5. This is what he would go for there.
You got look at Paco from Blood In, Blood Out. You know, my man has come up in the detective world. You know, I didn't hear Mike's joke. I think it cut out when we were talking about Steph rooting for the Cowboys.
Oh yeah, you were saying Steph rooting for the Cowboys.
Well, you know, so if I start dating a girl who's a Cowboy fan, I don't think I can do it, dude. I don't think I can. I mean, she needs to have one hell of an ass for me to root that and wear the blue.
You're missing my point, bro. You got to get her to come to you and your team.
Right.
That you're thinking about this totally different, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? You're thinking about this wrong. You got to get her to come to your team, bro. That's when we're gonna see the Mike Demon if it's talk or not.
Now I would respect it if it's an NFC team that I don't cheer for, or if it's an AFC team that I don't cheer for, right? So if I have somebody who's like dating a girl that she's part of Chiefs Kingdom or Bills Mafia, I can kind of respect that. It's the other conference. That'll be my Sancha team. I want my Saints to be her Sancho team. We can do it that way, right? Yeah. But if she's like, I'm a Bucks fan, I'm a Falcons fan, bite me.
I cannot wait till Mike ends up with the Cowboys fan and he's rocking the Cowboys the one year together, you know, the matching like 1 year together with the #1 Cowboys jersey, you know, that kind of stuff.
D'Lo says if Jerry can turn Mike, no one can. Jerry Jones asked me to be a Cowboy fan. I told him no after he got me drunk one night.
You know what? One of my best friends always tells me, whether he's drunk or not, dude, he's freaking hilarious, dude. The Cowboys can be down by like 3 touchdowns or whatever, and all of a sudden they score a touchdown, and he'll be texting me, "We them boys." I'm like, bro, because he's a big time Cowboys fan, you know. and I'm a Cowboys
Yeah.
fan, but I'm gonna be rooting for the Texans this year.
Oh, you're gonna jump on that bandwagon quick, dude.
They're gonna be my Sancha team, dude.
Did you see the NFL power rankings right now? Not the power rankings, but the NFL strength of schedule rankings got released.
I bet you the Texans are up there.
Oh, dude, it is brutal, man. This is according to NFL.com.
Cowboys are gonna have a hard schedule, man.
The hardest schedule in the NFL this year, based on prior year's experience and last year's win percentage and all that stuff. The hardest schedule belongs to the Cleveland Browns.
Oh,
Number 2, the Baltimore Ravens. Number 3, Pittsburgh Steelers. Number 4, Houston Texans. Texans have the 4th hardest schedule. The Cowboys have the 12th hardest schedule. So slightly harder than average.
After all the people they've lost, what does that spell to you? An 8-win team?
The easiest schedule in all of the NFL this year belongs to the New Orleans Saints.
No.
Oh man, so no excuses. No excuses then.
Is this
no excuses.
This is our year.
This is our year.
No excuses. There are no excuses, Saints.
Atlanta Falcons and the New Orleans Saints have the easiest. They're tied for the easiest schedule. The third easiest schedule is the Chicago Bears and the Carolina Panthers. The 5th easiest belongs to the Chargers, then the Bucks, then the Dolphins, and the Seahawks. When it comes to the NFC East, because a lot of Cowboy fans are excited about that, I mentioned the Cowboys are number 12, the 12th hardest schedule. When it comes to the NFC East, the 6th hardest schedule belongs to the New York Giants. The Washington Commanders, where are they at? Let's see here. Washington Commanders have the 16th hardest schedule, and the biggest rivals, the biggest threat to the Cowboys this year, the Philadelphia Eagles, are riding with the 21st hardest schedule in the NFL this
Fly,
year.
Eagles fly. Pinche lechuzas cagadas, dude. I hate them, man.
They're going to go 12-5. They're going to go 12-5.
Look at our good friend Tim Gonzalez. My friend, she's an Oregon fan in football, and she likes Duke basketball because of me. Hey,
there you
Tim
go.
Gonzalez, he's got puro game, bro.
Hey, he got game, bro. He got game, dog.
Respect, brother. Respect.
Just saying, Cowboy fans are loyal. It's our year, baby.
It's always their year, bro.
Not expecting a ring anytime soon.
Another first round knockout. Not even getting there because
I don't think they're going to make the playoffs this year.
Wild card getting trounced by the freaking Green Bay Packers, bro.
Aaron Jones turning back the clock. Dude, the Cowboys, man, they're just teases every year, man. Teases every year. And then this year, what's going to end up happening for Cowboys fans when it comes to Dak Prescott? Because they're damned if you do, damned if you don't. You know, if you don't sign Dak Prescott, you don't have a good quarterback. You sign Dak Prescott, you have nothing behind him because he's going to be making $60 million a year.
Yeah. Hey, man, before we start getting into some boxing talk real quick here, let's go ahead and give a quick shout out to our boy, El Jefe.
Yeah.
From the Locked On Spurs. Locked On Spurs is your daily Spurs podcast hosted by Jeff Garcia, the lead Spurs writer for Ken's 5 San Antonio. Jeff has a healthy plethora of guests all the time on the Locked On Spurs podcast. You can also follow Jeff on threads at Jeff G Ken's 5 SA. You can also follow Jeff on Twitter at Jeff G Spurs Zone. So make sure you go ahead and give Jeff a follow not only on threads and Twitter, but also on YouTube at youtube.com/@LockedOnSpurs. This is where you're going to be able to find the replay of the Locked On Spurs podcast. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share.
Again, Jeff G Spurs Zone on Twitter. I subscribe on Spotify and YouTube. You want to show my screen real fast before we go to boxing. NBA Draft Lottery, don't forget, is Sunday. So this is the last show before the Draft Lottery. And this is a breakdown that the NBA just released right now. I know we've been talking about Tankathon, but it's about the percentages of certain things happening. Spurs have a 10.5% chance of getting the number 1 overall pick. We got it last year with a 14% chance. This year, it is a 10.5% chance. We have a 10.5% chance of getting second, 10.5% of getting third, 10.5% of getting fourth, 2% chance of being number 5, 20% chance of being number 16, 27% chance of being number 7, and a 8.5% chance of being number 8, and 0.5% chance of being number 9. So we can go number 1 all the way to number 9. Now that Toronto pick is top 6 protected. The Spurs have a 29% chance of it being number 7 for them, a 21% chance of it being number 8 for them, and then a 4% chance of being either 8 or 9 or 10 of Toronto's pick being conveyed to San Antonio. But we're not the only team that has that as well, because there's a pick from Utah and there's a pick from Houston. that could go to the Oklahoma City Thunder, because that Oklahoma City Thunder pick right there, that Houston pick is top 4 protected. If it doesn't convey this year, then it goes to Oklahoma City. Utah's pick, if it's not among the top 10 picks, gets conveyed to Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City might be sitting there with 3 first-rounders this year. Crazy. Crazy. But again, the NBA draft is going to be Sunday. Not as much excitement as there was when Wemby was out there. There's no generational talent there. No one really, the Spurs can is in the beauty of the beholder. When it comes to things, the Spurs can get the number 5 pick and get a decent player. There's no tier 1 this year. There's a bunch of tier 2s and 3s, man. But again, draft lottery is Sunday night. Spurs 40% chance, 42% chance of being in the top 4.
Hey, so we're going to start getting into a little bit of boxing talk before we go ahead and end the show here. So without further ado, man, I got to go ahead and play my boy's intro, man. You ready?
Let's do it, man.
There you go, man. So we have to go ahead and play Ric's intro there. Get him hyped up to talk about his love, man.
Gotcha, man. Yeah, man, for sure, man. Hey, so we've had a string of pretty big fights in the last couple of weeks, right? We had the Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney. Last week we had the Canelo Munguia. And there is a fight this weekend. It's not as highly, marketed, but it's a good fight. It's a Vasily Lomachenko versus George Kambosos on ESPN Top Rank. It's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be in Australia, right? So it's gonna be about 9:00 p.m. San Antonio time. So it's not a funky time like the NOA fight that was at 6 a.m. Our time that I woke up for and watched. But no, man, the Lomachenko Kambosos is gonna be a pretty decent, solid fight, man. I think the wild card is they're in Australia, right? Kambosos is from Australia, so if it's close, we might see some weird cards, man. I'm interested to see that, right? Loma has kind of missed, maybe has slightly lost a step. Lomachenko was considered one of the best fighters. He's coming off back-to-back losses to he's coming off to a loss to Devin Haney. But a lot of people thought he won that fight, or he gave Devin Haney a really tough fight. And Kambosos is coming off back-to-back losses to Haney. But it's crazy is Lomachenko. Listen to this. His amateur record was 396-1. 396 wins and 1 loss as an amateur, and he avenged that loss twice. That's insane. That is an insane record.
Lomachenko,
that's two.
Is a heavy favorite at -700. Kambosos is at plus 475.
He is a heavy favorite, but what I will say, it might be a good bet to put on Kambosos, because if it's close and it goes to the decision, they're in Australia. He's from Australia. We saw a Pacquiao get ripped off from an Australian guy, Horn. Back in the day. So I'm just saying, you never know, man. No offense to you go overseas, man, and you never know, man. You never know if it's a close fight and how those judges are going to be overseas, especially when the home guy is from Australia, right? And Kambosos is no slouch. I mean, he pulled the upset over Teofimo Lopez back in 2021. That's where he kind of gained some of his fame, and He cut his teeth as a sparring partner for Manny Pacquiao, so Kambosos is a tough dude.
He's saying he saw Lomachenko at Madison Square Garden.
Nice.
Oh wow! Loma so Lomachenko was one of those freak athletes that came out of Ukraine, and because he had such a extensive amateur record, like I said, the 396-1 and the 2 Olympic gold medals, he was on a fast track. I'm talking fighting for a world title in his second fight. His second pro fight, which is unheard of. He lost that fight to a veteran, Orlando Salido, but he only his record is 20 wins and 3 losses, 11 knockouts. So he doesn't have a bunch of fights, but he's been fast tracked. You know what I mean? So the dude is, and his workouts are insane. He's kind of like that. He's kind of that Ivan Drago, not like how he's big, but he does all these different high tech things. You know what I mean? And his father's his trainer, and they're out of Ukraine, and they. He's one of the better fighters that we've had in this year in our generation, but he's slowed down a little bit. He's 36, 36 years old. So it's going to be interesting to see if he still has it. He should beat Kambosos.
We're about 5 weeks away from Tank Davis being out there and fighting for his 30th win. He's 29, undefeated. Heavy favorite coming up against Frank Martin. That's June 15th. Couple of questions. What does this guy need to do to be the star of boxing? I mean, Ryan Garcia is still the star, even though he lost to Tank.
And he was cheating.
Yeah. I mean, what is
Yeah,
Tank?
I mean, he needs to keep. He needs. I think he needs to keep winning. I mean, Tank has the power. Tank has the ability to be a star. I wouldn't say he's as controversial as Ryan, but Tank has his own controversy to himself. So I think he's on the cusp of being one of the big. He's one of the faces of boxing. I mean, I think you still got Canelo. You got guys like Tank and Ryan who are coming up as the next faces of boxing. So. Hey, Frank Martin's a good fighter. He's tough. I think if Tank beats him, that's a good win for him. And then keep having bigger fights, man.
Hey, I got a question for you too here, Rick, because we're going to talk a little bit about the Usyk and the Tyson fight, right? So we all know how we get, right? If you have a daughter or whatever, you got to do sometimes do things that the daughters give you, or go into work with painted nails and whatnot. Having a daughter is a special bond as a father. So Alexander Usyk, he's traveling to Saudi Arabia for the Tyson fight today with the same cuddly toy of Eeyore that he had with the Anthony Joshua fight. It's his
That's awesome.
daughter gave it to him, and she gave it to him to be his talisman, like bring him good luck. So he said, this needs to be next to you. She says, it's always close to me. So they show a picture of him, man. He's getting on the plane. He's got that little stuffed Eeyore with him, and people are like,
I love it.
Look at this dude, how big he is, and he's over here with this little Eeyore. Hey, man, his daughter gave it to him, so he's gonna take it. Yeah.
Hey, Usyk, man, he's cut from that same cloth of Lomachenko. He's a guy from the Ukraine who doesn't have a lot of pro fights, but he was fast tracked because he was a Olympic gold medalist. So that Usyk Fury fight's gonna be really good. I mean, Usyk has won belts in the light heavyweight and cruiserweight division. So. Going to heavyweight, and I mean he did beat Anthony Joshua, who's a big heavavyweight, a big strong heavyweight. So Usyk is considered one of the smaller heavyweights, but the dude is so technically sound, him and Fury is going to be a good fight. And then over there in Saudi, man, those Saudis, I'm telling you, are putting a lot of good fights on, and they're throwing money around.
His Excellency says he wants
and he's bringing the fight. He's bringing them to LA. He's bringing the Terrence Crawford card to LA, which it has a big card.
Like you refer to him as His Excellency.
That's what he's called. His Excellency.
That's what he called. Yeah, that's what he's called in Saudi Arabia. Yeah.
He's got. Hey, bro, they got some big time money, dude. Big money.
They do, man. And I'm telling you, man. They are unifying. They're putting money out there, and they're unifying the promoters. You got Bob Arum working with. You got Bob Arum, De La Hoya, PBC, all Heyman. They're all working together because the Saudis are throwing money out, man.
Bob Arum still
alive? The LA card is going to be good.
How old's Bob Arum?
He is. Him and Don King. Bob Arum and Don King are still alive. Don King's got to be in his 90s.
Yeah. He's old.
They got to be in their 90s, late 80s at the very least. But I want to say
Don King,
early 90s. Don King's probably the same up there.
That's gonna be a great movie one day when there's a Don King.
I think they made a movie of him already.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, they did one that Vin Rhames played in, which is pretty good. It's like an HBO movie from the 90s. It's pretty good. But yeah, no, man, Don King and Arum are still kicking, bro. In their 90s. That's wild. They promoted fights in the 70s, right? Ali. Rumble in the Jungle, Foreman Ali Khan. It's crazy to think that they're still out there doing that. Don King, you don't see him much these days.
Talk
he's
about
still out there
fights
promoting.
That I would have liked to see. Like, you could go back in history and watch fights. I would have loved to see that one, man. The Rumble in the Jungle, man.
Nice.
Oh wow, yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah,
I was telling you the other day, Spurnandez, that I was at my friend Alex's house.
Yeah. I saw that.
We were gonna watch the Eastern Conference playoffs, and instead he starts putting on old boxing matches.
You see that I gotta link up with that guy. That sounds like my kind of guy right there.
Dude, De La Hoya against Vargas. Yeah. Dude, Vargas had him. Had him. And then De La Hoya opened up his eye, and that was it right there. Just jabbed his way through.
Yeah, those are good fights, man. Those are really good fights, man. I'll tell you, we joke about Oscar De La Hoya these days and his antics, but
kind of pause there for a second. Dude, back in the day, De La Hoya just had a very good jab, dude. And it's not a jab that was
De La Hoya was tough. Yeah.
Okay. De La Hoya's jab was not like Floyd Mayweather's, where it was just defensive in nature. It was an offensive weapon that he was doing, and he would just jack you up with that jab.
And you know why? You know what the big secret is to his jab? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. He's naturally left-handed. but he fought right-handed.
Right.
So his natural power punch is his left, because when you're a left-handed fighter, your jab is your right hand, and your power punch is whatever hand you are. And I'm not trying to insult anybody's intelligence. I'm just saying like if you're right-handed, your stance is your jab is in front, and it's usually just kind of pat pat pat, and this is your power. But De La Hoya was naturally left-handed, so when he fought in a right-handed stance, his power was his left jab. Yeah, because that's his natural power shot. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, De La Hoya has one of the best jabs ever.
And we saw,
but that was
De La Hoya in that fight in the 5th round was like, this crap ain't working, and he completely changed his stance. He like did a complete 180 in his stance, and all of a sudden,
and it worked.
Everything started opening up, and then he opened up his eye. He opened up Vargas's eye, and it was a great fight. It's a meaningful fight because, and if my daughter's listening to me right now, sorry, because she listens to the show from time to time.
Yeah,
that was the night she was conceived.
Oh God.
Demon Mike made an appearance.
Oh man,
there's more to the story than that, but still, that's where I'm going to leave it at. That fight was September of 2002. My daughter was born July of 2003, and she was a couple weeks late.
Hey, well, yeah, man. You look at this. Mario Cavazos says, "Happy Mother's Day to all the mamas out there." Yeah, definitely, man. Happy birthday to all the mamas. Absolutely. If you have your mama, man, make sure you go and treat her right on Sunday. Do something nice for your mama, dude.
Oh, like what's that one go? Man, yeah. To all the mamas, all the baby mamas, all the baby mamas.
Oh man, yeah. But one of my favorite songs is Tupac, dude. Mama, dude. That's a deep song.
Dear Mama.
We should have done that. Good mama songs.
Yeah, Dear Mama.
Queen, Mama just killed a man. I mean, come on. Mama, didn't Boyz II Men have one?
Hey, that was one of the greatest rock songs in history, bro.
It was on that Soul Food soundtrack.
Really?
That's the Boyz II Men mom song. Yeah.
I'm gonna look this up here. Songs about mom.
Oh man. Songs about mom.
Okay, so here's, according to Billboard.com, a list, and this is a new column. The 20 greatest songs about mom.
Yeah.
Number 20, Tupac's Dear Mama. 19, The Dream, Mama. Backstreet Boys, The Perfect Fan. 17, Drake, Look What You've Done. 16, NSYNC's God Must Have Spent a Little More Time on You. 15, Casey Musgraves, Mother. Oh, I love Casey Musgraves. Christina Aguilera, Oh Mother. 13, Danzig's
Your Mother. No. The way they sing the song, it goes, Your Mother.
12, Kanye West, Hey Mama. 11, Ozzy Osbourne, Mama, I'm coming home. 10, Rolling Stones, Mother's Little Helper. 9, Crystal Bowersox, Mama. Number 8, Pink Floyd's Mother. LA Cool J's Mama Said Knock You Out was number 7. Number 6, Trace Atkins, Hot Mama. Number 5, Jackson 5, Mama's Pearl. Number 4, John Lennon's Mother. Number 3, Boyz II Men, A Song for Mama. We just talked about that. Elvis Presley's number 2 at Mama Like the Roses. And number 1, the Spice Girls, Mama.
I think Tupac's getting a little hosed there. I mean, I'm sorry. Like 20, really? Like, are you like, that's insane to me, But yeah,
how white was this writer?
He was someone probably told him about that. He just slid it in at number 20 because there's no way that like, you know what I'm saying? Like he probably had another. He probably didn't even have it in there. And somebody's like, bro, don't you know?
He probably had a country song.
Yeah. He was like, I guess slide it into number 20. You know what I mean? Come on, bro. That's ridiculous.
Speaking of country songs, dude, have you heard Beyonce's new country album?
This Ain't Texas,
bro. It's horrible, man. Horrible.
That's funny.
I had heard a song or two, like I was driving and they're playing the songs on Sirius XM.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the crap is this? And it's like, oh, Beyonce's new. These are songs from Beyonce's new country album. I'm like, it's awful, dude.
Get the heck out of here with this country. Very, very nice. Hey, I'm gonna let you guys go. I need to get back to the office.
Yeah, no, we need to call the show already because me and Rick actually got to prepare because we got to get ready for a special interview that he's going to be doing. We're not going to go ahead and tell everybody what's happening, but we got to guess.
Everyone have a safe weekend. Don't forget it's Mother's Day on Sunday. Don't forget also, every Mother's Day deserves a Mother's Night. So take care of your girl, if you know what I mean.
No.
And the other thing also is that the NBA Draft Lottery Sunday night. So, rubber rosary, light some candles, do whatever needs to be done for the Spurs to get that number 1 overall pick. And that Toronto pick, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, well, at least we know next year it's going to be a better draft.
I got a feeling we're going to get those 2 picks, man, but we'll see.
All right, brother.
Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day out there. Happy Mother's Day to my girl, Chicana Fuerte. I love you, babe. But yeah, appreciate you, big dog. Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, man, always. All right, we're out. We'll see you boys on Monday.
Late.